Okay, welcome. I just started the recording. Welcome everyone to this evening's gentle yoga class where we will be using a foam roller. Props you can use at home if you don't have a foam roller. Well, one is borrowing a roller from Elon Fitness. They're wonderful about letting folks borrow equipment. So that's an option. The other option is to roll up a couple of yoga mats that you have at home. So that's another way to do it. Some of the positions we'll be doing tonight could also be subbed with a block, but it sounds like you both have foam rollers, so let's get started. So have your foam roller nearby, but we'll just start in a cross-legged position. You can sit on a little height if you like, but basically just start in a comfortable position. Oops, don't want to mute me. Let me see. I'm just trying to. Okay, so start in a comfortable seated position and just let your hands rest naturally somewhere on your lap. Take a few deep breaths into your low belly and your ribs. Grounding yourself in your breath, arriving and taking a moment just to be in some stillness and in some quiet. Noticing just the sound of your inner body. And then begin to sense the connection between your pelvis, your heavy pelvis bone as it sits on your pillow or on your mat. And then begin to sense the connection of all of those vertebrae that are between your pelvis and your head. So all of the curves of the spine, all the way up behind the heart, up through the neck and the throat, all the way up to that axis point where the skull rests on top of the spine. And just in your own way of quietly sensing, see if you can just bring that skull of yours, that big head that rests on top of the very top of the spine, and see if you can balance it right on top of the spine and over your pelvis. Most of us have our heads jutting forward, and so a lot of our muscles, especially in the upper back, the trapezius and neck muscles, are doing more to hold our head up than our bones are, and our bones are designed to hold it. So as we look forward to the new year, the new possibilities, the new openings, the intentions and visions that we have, let us still sit back into our own presence, our own being, and not try to get further than our natural skeletal design, our natural interior design can hold us sustainably. So taking a few more breaths, just feeling into this alignment, this connection, and in a sense, the ease that you can experience when your bones hold you up well and are stacked well. And now just very gently let your palms of your hands come back to your hips, to the crease, and then just hold the crease where your thigh bones come into your hips, and hold with your thumbs behind, your fingers forward, and then just hold down and press down, and then lift your chest as though your chest is emerging from your hips, from your seat, and lift the heart, and then gently let the head go back. Let the chest rise, let the collarbones be wide, let your elbows be wide, and let your heart sail up. Now, exhale, begin to bring flexion to the spine. Let the chin round forward. Let your hands come down to your knees. Hold your knees, and then just let the back of the spine round, and let the forehead and the chin rest forward. Really let the back of the spine round. So sit back into the spine. Let those shoulder blades slide off the back, and really let the chin come down toward the chest. So lengthening the back of the neck. Let the forehead be heavy. Belly is relaxed here. Now, once again, begin to inhale, bend the elbows. Slowly let the palms of the hands slide back toward the waist, toward the hip crease, and then press down, anchor those hips down, lift the heart, let that spine be long, and finding this nice extension and length. Let the throat and the neck be long here. Let the chin come up toward the sky. Let the head come back. Couple of big breaths. And then on your next exhale, just come back to sitting upright. Relax the hands out, or I should say spread the fingers wide, let the arms relax down, and have the fingers stretching out to either side of you. Let those fingers all be long and stretched out. Now, turn the palms up to the sky, bend the elbows in toward the body, and once again, let the chest lift and hug the elbows in as though you might touch the elbows behind your back. The thumbs are spinning back behind you. Now, exhale the hands forward as though you're going to grab a big beach ball. And imagine hugging that big beach ball. Once again, let the chin come down toward the chest. Forehead moves down toward the earth. Lengthening the back of the neck. Inhale, now bring the arms to a cactus shape, but with the palms outward as though you're going to push on two walls on either side of you. And imagine pushing on those walls. Let the navel move toward the spine here. So letting the lower abdominals engage, and imagine pressing. So it's an isometric movement. Now, turn the palms of the hands to face in. Inhale and lift the arms up to the sky, and then bring the palms close together. And then bend the elbows and bring the thumbs back toward your upper back. Now, rather than lifting as we have done, now knit your ribs together. Imagine the solar plexus here is rooting down toward your sits the front of your pelvis, and try to squeeze the elbows together. Now let the arms lift up, and then exhale the arms slowly down and place them on the mat, or bring them down to the mat. Now you're going to walk your left fingers over to the side all the way until you can place your hand down on the mat. Take your other hand and reach it back behind you, and then forward and overhead, and then reach with that top hand, your right hand, as you anchor that right hip down, and spread your ribs, open up your waist here, lengthen the waist, and push down on that hand, so you're creating some traction here along the side of the body. Now reverse your hand, so let that right hand come back behind you, let your chest look up to the sky, and then bring that hand back behind you, and then sit up, and now slide that right hand over to the side. Place the palm down. Take your left arm, Bring it back behind you. Let your chest look up to the sky. Just take a nice back bend here and then bring that top arm overhead and reach those fingertips, anchoring that left hip down and reaching those left fingertips. Nice big breath. Now inhale, bring that hand back behind you and reverse that circle. Open up the palm of the hand so that whole arm gets a nice stretch. Woo. And then come back up. Bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, and turn the palms of the hands forward. Stretch the back, round the back. Once again, chin comes to the chest. Inhale, open the arms, bring the hands together behind the body. See if you can change the lace of the fingers. And squeeze the hands together, lifting the chest. And then bring the hands back to the legs. Bring the shoulders up and do a couple of shoulder rolls that allow the whole body to move here. So kind of a forward and back. And reverse the direction, which might feel quite funny. And come back to center. And then let's stretch our necks by bringing the chin to the chest and then gently rolling the right ear over to the right shoulder. And then reverse that little semicircle back to center. Now slowly bring the left ear over to left shoulder. That right shoulder gently moves down toward the earth. And then gently bring the chin back to the chest. Unfurl the spine so you lift the chin back up, lift the head up, and bring the fingertips right to the back of the skull. Have the elbows wide and just let your head fall back into your hands. And imagine with your fingers, maybe your index fingers, lifting the spine, or rather lifting the skull up and back so that you're imagining you're lifting the chest as though you're going to pick yourself up and lay yourself down on a plank. Open up those elbows wide. And then exhale, come back down. So a lot of shoulder workout. We're going to be stretching. We're going to be using the roller on the whole body. So let's now take the roller and put it laterally across the short side of the mat. And if you have a pillow or even a sweater or towel or blanket, anything to rest your head on, bring that right behind your roller. So we're gonna come on down and bring the roller right on the back of the heart or right behind the shoulder blades. And then roll to a place where it really feels like you're getting your upper back, probably where it may not be, where it most needs it. So it's typically about bra line or just a little bit above it, I suppose. But then you're going to open up your arms. This might feel intense, especially because this is the opposite of our keyboard movement. And then really allow your head support to support the head so you're not semi holding your head up. So we're not going to be here for a long time, but we're going to be here long enough to just feel the chest opening, to feel the upper back getting that probably relatively intense stretch. And we'll just practice some deep breathing here. So arriving in this shape and just noticing what you notice. Taking nice full breaths. And now I'm going to move the headpiece out of the way. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to just use one hand to hold my head for a moment while I just find my bearings here. And then I'm going to roll over onto my left side. So basically the roller is now in my armpit. And so you're basically just rolling over. You don't have to get up or move so much as just rolling over so that the roller is in your, did I say right armpit? I think I said right. Well, anyway, it's on my left armpit. It doesn't matter which way you go first, honestly. So now all I'm going to do is very small movements here, just up and down on the back of my shoulder blade, at the back of the armpit and the side of the shoulder blade. And you'll probably notice where there are some juicy spots because this is a pretty intense place. So you can also, we'll do a few up and forward and back. So I'm rolling up and down. And now take your top arm, reach it forward, and just gently roll a little bit forward. Now take that arm and bring it overhead and start to come onto your back. Now bring that arm back up and go forward. So we're now going cross fiber here, which can be pretty intense. Now you can decrease the amount of pressure by just scooting your hips a little further forward to release you from putting so much pressure. But we'll just repeat that another couple of times. So I'm bringing my top arm forward. I'm rolling gently onto my chest through my armpit and then back. Woo! It's really something. It's a small movement, but it sure gets right to the heart of the matter, right to the armpit of the matter. And one more time, we'll just open up. Beautiful. And now come onto your back. And for just a moment, bring your hands behind your head. You can interlace your fingers and just hold your head if you like. And with your feet planted on the floor, lift your hips, and we're just going to do a little rollout of the upper back before we go to the next side. So we're not doing the whole back yet, although you really can do whatever you want. You're in your own home. We're just going to do the upper back, and then we're going to bring our hips down and come over now onto the other side. And just for a moment, we're going to go up and down just a few inches. Doesn't take a lot here. So I'm on the back of the armpit, the lower part of the shoulder, and the wing of the back of the shoulder blade. Dial in your amount of pressure by how much is just anchored on this roller. So like I said, you can adjust where your hips are and how much pressure you are giving the roller. Now we're going to take our top arm and gently bring your body and your arm forward, rolling onto the front of the chest a little bit, the front of the armpit. And now we're going to slowly open up. Woo. Let that arm come down. And do this 2 more times, nice and slow. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Great. And now we'll do one more up and down here on that second side. And then once again, we'll come onto our backs. Now move the foam roller to mid-back, lift the hips, and let's do a full roll of the back. You can have your hands behind your head if you like, or not, if that's not comfortable. Great. And then roll yourself up to seated and move the roller out of the way for a moment. And come onto your hands and knees for tabletop position. Turn your toes under and let your hips come back to your heels. And then just press the hips back here for a moment. So we're stretching out our toes and our feet. Now, bring your chin to your chest, round the spine like we did, and stretch your arms forward. So you're pushing into your hands. It's kind of a variation on our cat-cow shape. Now, inhale, bend the elbows, let your chest slink down to the mat or almost, and then come up into our cow shape. And then exhale, find your way into the rounded cat shape. Take a big full inhale, and on your exhale, bring your hips down to your feet. Now, let your hips go over to the right. And now let your hips go over to the left. And let your head go in the opposite direction. So go back and forth a couple of times here. Just going side to side. And then roll up to seated. Take your hands forward, spin your fingers down toward the mat so your palms are facing away, and then bring your fingers just below your knees. Spread the fingers, especially the thumbs and the pinkies wide, and place your hands down on the mat. Now, if this is super painful, just go as far as you can. We're stretching out the wrists and the hands and the forearms here. And then bend the elbows back toward the body. Great. And then release the hands and just fold the wrists in, and then curl the fingers, cast spells, and then just do a little forward and back with the wrists, and then a circle or two in each direction. Great. Now come back to hands and knees. Take your left leg back behind you, turn the toes under, and reach that heel behind you. So stretch that left leg out. Top of the right foot should be pushing down, and you feel your belly lift toward the spine. Now replace that knee and go to second side. Ball of the right foot presses down, reach the heel back, engage that right quad so your right leg is strong. Top of the left foot is also reaching down, so there's a lot of strength here in the foundation. Bring that knee down, turn the toes under, and lift the knees up just a couple of inches. Belly button lifts toward the spine. Shoulder blades stay connected to the back, and your neck is long on all four sides of your neck. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, hips go up and back, adjust your stance, and take your first downward dog of this class. Hands and fingers stay nice and wide. The fingers are all 10 of them are pressing down individually into your mat. Bend your left knee and reach your right hip back, lengthening the back of the right leg. Straighten that leg, and now bend the right knee. Really reach that left heel down to the mat. And then straighten that leg. Step your right foot right into the center of the mat and inhale your left leg up to the sky. Inhale that knee to the nose and squeeze. And now exhale that leg back up. Inhale that knee to the left elbow, and leg goes back up. And now left knee to right elbow, hold it there and send it back up. And now inhale, step that left foot forward, spin the right heel down, and then windmill the arms to come up into warrior two. Take your right hand to your right thigh, spin your left palm up to the sky, and then as you slide your right hand down the right leg, reach that left arm overhead and bend down into the left knee. Now windmill those arms back down to the earth. Step your left foot back and take just a nice downward dog here for a couple of breaths, lifting the sits bones up and back and the heels down to the earth. Now step the left heel into the center of the mat. Inhale that right leg up to the sky. Now bring the knee to the nose and squeeze. Now send that right leg up and back. And now inhale that right knee to right elbow. Hold it. And send that leg up and back. And now right knee to left elbow. And back up. And now step that right foot forward, spin the left heel in, feel your legs pull together so your legs are strong as you windmill those arms to come up to warrior two. Left hand on left leg begins to slide down as that right arm comes overhead as we sit deeply into that right knee. Beautiful. Windmill the arms back down to the earth. This time, straighten the hips forward and hop your left foot in. Now, straighten the right leg. Now, if that's not available to you, just straighten it as much as you can for a modified pyramid pose here. Now, place your hands, step your right foot back to be level with where your left foot is, and step your left foot forward and begin to straighten that left leg, anchoring the left hip back. Now, step forward, keep your knees bent, have your roller nearby. In fact, roll your roller right to in front of your toes. Now, press down into your roller, straighten your legs and lift your back to come here. To come into a modified forward fold here. Now, bend your right leg, your right knee, have your right hand right underneath your right shoulder, and inhale the left arm up to the sky. Exhale that hand down, straighten the right leg. Now bend the left knee. The left hand presses down underneath the left shoulder. Engage the low abdominals and then inhale that right arm up to the sky. And exhale the hand down and then begin to bend both knees down to the earth and then come into a squat. You can leave the roller for a moment. Now if a squat is hard for you, you can right now sit on the roller. So this is a modification if squatting is not comfortable without a prop. If it is, and so either way, then bring your arms to the inside of your knee, palms come together, and then gently press the legs away. Squeeze the legs back into the arms and then gently press those legs out. So stretching out the hips, strengthening the inner legs. Beautiful. And then come down onto your seat and we're going to get our rollers and we're going to use them to sit on. And I'll show you what we're going to do. So come onto your knees and then bring the roller back behind you and then basically place it under your right seat. Where we're going with this is we're going to have the left leg bent and we're going to extend that right leg long. And if this roller is too much in the center, I just feel like it's a little painful in the crotch area. So I like to keep the roller more under my right sit bone. Now my right foot is flexed, ankle is flexed, and the toes are straight up to the sky. And I'm going to hinge at the hips and then just bring my hands down alongside my knees. And with my spine long, I'll just stretch my whole right leg here. I can reach for my toes if I like, but it's wherever your hands are. The idea here is not yet to fold forward, but to lengthen the spine and hinge at the hips. Now lengthen the spine one more time on a nice big inhale, and on your exhale, go ahead and walk the hands forward and let the spine round. Forehead comes down toward the shin. And now walk the hands back up. Feel the belly, low belly engaged to use your abdominals to bring you back up. And now bend the right leg, roll the roller underneath the left sits bone. And now extend the left leg long. So the toes are coming straight up to the sky, and typically you want to bring your pinky toe back toward your body because a lot of times the foot sickles. So lengthening up and taking a nice big inhale, and on your exhale, hinging forward, just seeing how this leg is feeling, and you might feel a lot of sensation even just right out of the gate here. Anchoring that left hip back to the wall behind you, and then just growing the spine long, keeping the spine lengthen, the back lengthen here for just a few more breaths. And then one more big inhale and exhale. Go ahead and round, bringing the forehead down toward the shin, walking the hands a little further forward. Still anchoring that left hip back. So it's almost like an isometric pull of the hip back. And you can just, with the most subtle intention, you can feel that lengthening even more deeply on the left leg, the back of the left leg. And roll on up. And come onto your seat in a wide-legged V shape. And take your left hand and slide it down towards your left foot, and then bring the right arm overhead. So we're coming into a side stretch. Now bend your right elbow and use your left arm to anchor into your leg, and then twist to try to get the heart to look up toward the sky. Now inhale back up and grab your block and place it right at your hip crease. Now you're going to take your left hand right behind you and then just press down into the earth and twist your belly and your trunk to face over your left leg. Now, using your right hand, tuck the roller into your hip crease and fold forward, and then just take a forward fold over your left leg here, holding onto your feet or your leg and using the roller to support the chest. It's also dual function here and massages and presses into the thigh. Now, if this is too painful, just take the roller out. This is one of these, kind of 2-for-1s, but it's not always great. You can also move the roller forward a little bit on the left leg to massage or to give a little bit more gentle pressure right above the left knee. Great, now come back up and we'll go to second side. So I'm going to take my right hand, slide it down towards my right foot, and then keeping my chest open, I'm going to bring my left arm overhead. I'm anchoring my left hip down to the earth, and then use your right arm to gently anchor into the lower leg, and then let that upper arm reach back behind you a little bit, just to kind of gently try to twist the chest up to the sky. Beautiful. Now release that, come back up, and now take your roller on your right leg and take your right hand behind you and to help support, turning your trunk toward the second leg and fold forward, massaging your right quad here as you take a fold over the leg. Again, if this just feels uncomfortable and is not giving you any massage to that leg, it just feels painful and strange, go ahead and take the roller out. And like I said, you can also move its placement as you reach over this leg, move it down closer to the knee or away from the knee. Certainly not on the knee. Okay, great. Now go ahead and come back up and let's bring the roller long ways on the mat, so the length of the mat. And we will come and lie on the roller. So bringing your seat to the bottom of the roller and then just coming on down. So both your tail and your head should be resting on the roller. And then bring the arms, palms out to the side like you're making a big slow snow angel. And then bring those arms overhead, nice and slow. And then back down toward your sides. Now, one of the tricks here is to keep your palms open and keep the thumbs spinning down toward the earth. And inhaling again, bringing the arms overhead, nice and slow. There's probably some sticky spots you're going to notice. And exhaling, bringing the arms down. Now, bend the elbows, bring the arms straight out from the shoulders. Let's see if am I visible. And lift the elbows up a little bit and let the fingertips and the thumbs go tipped down toward the earth. Now let the elbows come down toward the earth. So your elbows may already be on the ground, or depending on your roller and the openness of your shoulders here. This is a really good stretch just for opening that area that we massaged on the roller, the armpit area, the fronts of the shoulder heads, the arms, the chest. Now bring the elbows up toward one another. And as you exhale, bring the arms back down. Now straighten the arms, bring them back overhead. And then back down so they're just coming straight out from your shoulders. Again, fingertips are wide, fingers are spread wide, and the thumbs spin down, so much so that you allow the whole arm to spin with the thumb. Now, bring the palms back up to center so they're facing the ceiling. And now spin the thumbs the other way. So now the palms are going down toward the earth the other way. And see if you can spin the thumbs down even more. So you're twisting the arms all the way out, wringing out the arms. Now bring the palms back up to the sky and then allow the arms to rest. Just give yourself a rest here, letting the forearms rest on the earth. Take a few nice, slow, deep, steady breaths. We're now just resting the arms after that work. You can really rest the arms too in a place where you can feel the benefit of the roller. So kind of moving the hands further up or down, you'll notice just a change in where the stretch is in the shoulders. Great, so take another full inhale and nice long exhale, draw it out. And then widen your feet just a little bit here so that you feel really steady on the roller. Now what we're going to do is gently roll over onto our left side. So I'm going to gently let the roller come toward my left side, and I'm going to bring both knees to the left, including my head and neck. Now I'm letting my neck stretch. The whole right side of my neck is stretching, and I'm letting my left shoulder fall down to the earth. Now I'm going to go to the opposite side and come back to center. Now I'm going to roll onto my right and let my head, my right cheek come toward my right shoulder. Both knees are going to the right. So now let's go back and forth a few times, letting you get just some nice movement here, feeling the massage Across the back, letting the shoulders continue to open, the chest opens, and getting some stretch here in the neck. And do one more each side. Beautiful. And then come back to center. And we're going to do some abdominal work here. So I want to make sure you guys can see me all right. Okay. So we're going to come up onto our tiptoes. My arms are wide and my palms are face down, so I have a lot of surface area covering to keep me balanced. Now I'm going to extend my right leg long and take my left toes off the mat and then switch. So I'm just going to go up and down, switching which knee is bent and which leg is long. Now I'm trying to keep the low curve of my back connected to the roller, making an imprint. Or if your abdominals are nice and strong and there's no risk to your low back, there can be, enough to put just a few fingers between the roller and your low back. But if your low back has any issues, just keep the low back connected to the roller. Now you can also decrease the intensity of this by having one foot on the ground and then switching. Straightening one leg, placing that foot, and just going back and forth that way. So let's take a break. Take a nice full belly breath. And now we're going to, let me show you the options that you have. So one is with my arms connected to the earth and keeping my stability, I'm going to bring both legs up to the sky. And I'm going to bring my right leg down and then up, and my left leg down and then up. Now, if this feels unsteady for you, just have one leg on the ground. So my left leg is up, it comes down, then I bend that leg, and now my right leg comes up. So choose where you'd like to work, and we'll extend the right leg, bring it up, extend the left leg. And we'll do 8 more on each side. Take a break if you need. Belly button engages toward the spine. All right, 2 more each side. Great, and then bend the knees. Take just a momentary break here. You can let the knees go out to the side, or you can let the knees rest in on each other. And we'll stretch out our abdominals now by bringing the foam roller down, going across the short way of the mat, and bringing the foam roller, bringing our hips up onto the foam roller for a moment. Knees are bent, and let's just stretch our abdominals out. Now you can keep your knees right here, or if it feels available to you and good, you can extend your left leg long, letting that hip flexor get a nice lengthening. A little turnout on the left foot, the left ankle. And now straighten that, or bend that left knee, and we'll straighten the right leg, letting that hip turn out as it needs to, lengthening the abdominals and lengthening our hips and hip flexors here. Great, and then bend that knee, and then let both knees go over to the right, and then stack your left hip on top of your right hip. I'm using my left hand to hold on to the end of the left side of the roller. And I'm just taking a twist while also getting some foam roller pressure in my right hip. Now I'm going to take my left hip and just move it back and forth a little bit, side to side, to get some pressure on my left hip, or on my right hip, I should say. Now I'm going to slowly bring my left hip down onto the roller, and you'll really feel that in your right glute. Great. Now we're going to do the same thing, second side. So I'm letting both my knees go over to the left, just feeling a nice little twist here. Now I'm going to lift my right foot up, bring my right knee over to join my left knee, and feel some pressure here now on my left glute. Now I'm going to gently go back and forth here, bringing my right hip is the driver of bringing the pressure down to the left side. So this is like a deep tissue massage. So you can lighten it by pressing on your left foot and lifting up. There's a lot of different ways to lighten the pressure, including even coming up onto your shoulders, or onto your elbows, I should say. So you direct the pressure. If it's too much, you just lighten how much you're doing and how much pressure you're putting on the point of the roller. All right, so now let's slowly roll that right hip down, all the way down. Great. And now we're on the foam roller again. Now lift up where am I going? Oh, that's right. So now I'm gonna walk the roller so it's now under my mid back. And I'm going to give a full length roll all the way up to my neck, or up to the top of my shoulders anyway, and all the way down. And then bring my legs up overhead and stretch my legs toward my head. And then bring my legs down and do the roll again. And come back onto the hips, onto the low back. And I'm catching my shirt, which is one of the casualties of foam rolling. Once again, bringing my legs overhead and back down. And one more big full roll out. And then roll the foam roller all the way under the hips and come onto your hands. So, so now I've got my hands down and my knees are bent, and I'm going to roll over onto my left hip. And how is it? Now I'm going to take my right leg and cross it over my left, and then roll from side to side on my left hip. And then come back to center. And now cross the left leg over the right leg, and then come on to the right glute, the right hip. And then go up and down. I forgot to do that on the first side. So just rolling out our glutes, directing the pressure and how much pressure we have with how much we press down on our feet and our hands. That's a way to lift off if it's too potent, too extreme. And then coming back to center and coming back to the first side, since we didn't roll this one out properly. So right leg comes over left knee, and then just going up and down. So there's up and down going the length of the muscle fiber, and then there's doing cross fiber, which we started with. Great. Now uncross the leg, and what we're going to do is roll all the way over onto our left hip, and then bring that right foot forward. So now we're going to move into the quad and the IT band. So I'm going to press into my right foot and bring the foam roller down, and then come more onto the front of my left leg. So I'm adjusting that roller, and now I'm going to roll out my quad, my left quad, and I'm using my right foot to keep the stability. So if you've done this movement before, you know how to get into the shape, and if you haven't, it can be a little awkward, but you basically are a tripod between the one foot, the standing foot, and your two hands, and then rolling out. And what I really recommend is doing for the IT band is going nice and slow here. I think this is the best way to get into the IT band. I find it super painful, and yet, you know, the reasons for doing the foam roller are many. You know, the circulation and hydration we give our muscles and our tissues is really good. And it breaks up adhesions and scar tissue. And so if you're wondering why we torture ourselves this way, it really does increase flexibility and decreases muscle stiffness. But it's a lot in the moment. So anyway, taking some time here on the IT band, going down, not onto the knee, of course, but down low toward the knee is often really intense and really good for us. Deep fascial massage here, releasing toxins, breaking up all the scar tissue and releasing those toxins. So a lot of hydration today is important. All right, so now we're going to go to the other side. So uncrossing the leg and finding your way onto the other side, coming onto the right hip, crossing my left leg over and planting that left foot so it's nice and steady on the earth right now. Gonna lower my foam roller and then gently turn onto my front so that I'm getting that into the belly of the quad muscle, going up and down, all the way down to the knee, but of course not on the knee. And then spending some time on the IT band, often sort of in the insertion point, and is going to be where it's, and lower down, sort of closer to the knee, is where even just small subtle movements will go a long way. If you have any knee problems, this tends to be really good, because often what's causing knee problems is tight quads, pulling at the kneecap. All right, woo-wee. Okay, so let's come out of that shape and come onto your back. You can leave the roller where it is, because now what we're going to do, we're coming onto our seat, and take your right leg and put your calf right on the roller, and then press into your left foot, and then lift your leg up and roll out your low leg. So the inside of the calf, the back of the calf, the side of the calf. Great. And let's switch. If you need to give your wrist a break, you can also come up kind of onto spider fingers, or change the direction that your wrist is facing if this is hard on the wrist. All right, and let's release that. And now let's once again, bring the foam roller long ways with the mat. We're going to roll out the inner leg. So how I do this is I come onto my hands and knees, and I'm going to place my inner thigh on the roller, and then using my hands to support, I'm just going to keeping the, I'm basically just rolling it out this way. So it's kind of like straddling the roller, but I like to keep my leg turned in a little bit, because I feel like that's where I can get more to the muscles that need it. And let's switch. Go to the left leg. Both my hands are to the right of my roller. And I'm rolling out my left inner thigh here. All right, beautiful. Now we'll do one last trick with the roller before we get to rest. There's so many things to do with the roller, it's amazing. So this, I'm gonna turn the volume on because I wanna hear from you all. So what I wanna do now is just give you the opportunity to roll out some of the areas of the head and face. So if it's too much, please feel free to back off or just skip this section, but I think it can be really helpful for massaging the temples and the jawline, which we hold a lot of tension there. So I'm going to use this edge, the end of my roller. On my side, I'm going to come down and place my head. I'm going to place the roller right at my, I don't know if you guys can see me here. Let me see. I'm placing it basically right at my temple, and I'm going to roll my head forward. I'm going to look down and then look up. So I'm basically rolling out my temple. And you'll feel it. And don't go too hard here, because you can imagine it's not fun to feel soreness here. But you really can get a nice massage here, sometimes deeper even than you might get on the massage table. Now, scoot it down so it's right at your jaw, and you can feel it go from jaw to ear here. And I just basically move my head up and down and feel, and then kind of right below the cheekbone. Great. And now I'm going to switch sides, but the way I like to do this is to let it massage my forehead as I switch to the other side. So I'm going to come onto hands and knees and let it massage my forehead and my and the top of my head as I come down now onto the other side and go right back to my temple. And you, of course, can explore this and decide where it feels best. Let's go down now to just below the, to the jawline, just below the cheekbone. You'll see as you do this, what feels good, what feels like too much, and what feels like a wonderful massage. And now we're going to come onto our backs. We're running out of time. I have too many things to do with this roller. And we'll come down onto our backs, nice and slow to take our Shavasana, but move slowly. And you might even, as you go, just give a little bit of massage to the sides of your head, your temples, and your scalp here, because it often activates these muscles and they say, we want more. So as you come down into your Shavasana shape, you can bring the foam roller under your knees. And then just give a little bit of massage now to the head, to the temples, to your cheekbones. And if you like, to the back of the scalp, you can pull the roots of your hair. It's very stimulating for the scalp, for the head, and for the muscles of the face. So just taking a moment here. And then let's give a little massage to our wonderful necks, our hardworking, delicate, tender necks, and to our shoulders. Everybody played so nicely today, working with the foam roller and with all of my shoulder exercises that we kicked off with. And then go ahead and let your arms unfurl and rest on the earth. Let your legs rest on your roller. And let your body rest here on the earth, taking a nice round of deep breaths. Letting your bones rest down on the earth and letting the earth rise up to meet our hardworking, beautiful, and often under-thanked heroes, our bodies, the unsung heroes of COVID-19. So just allowing yourself to come into an unwinding shape. Breathing into the back of the body. Letting the back of the heart expand. So like massage, foam rolling is a way to really bring very direct pressure to the muscles and to the tissues. And it, breaks up adhesions, as I was saying, breaks up scar tissue. And it sort of presses on the muscles so much so that it often releases toxins into the body, which is a good thing, but it really means we need to flush it out. Otherwise, those toxins will be reabsorbed. So when you're done with yoga class this evening, just go and pour yourself a very tall glass or a tall jar of water, and just guzzle it. Just make it the next thing you do. Just so that you can get the maximum benefit out of all of this press into our tissue. So begin to stretch the arms overhead and wiggle the toes and take a nice long stretch. And then begin to find your way to come up to seated. I wish I could give you a longer Shavasana, but I packed this class so full with roller exercises. I want to end on time. But one of the reasons why I wanted to do the foam roller this evening is because it creates, in a sense, it creates space in our body, sort of push and massage and knead out a lot of stuck stuff. So with this hydration and this circulation, what I wanted to invite you to do is to sense into an awareness in your body, into your being, that which is a space for you to cultivate or call in whatever it is you want to bring into the new year. So in other words, if you're, maybe you have, or maybe you haven't thought about your intention for the new year, but as you think about how you want to walk and be present in this new year, hopefully new chapter, how do we make space for that in our bodies? How do we find that space in our beings? So it's not just something we think with our minds, but we collaborate with our bodies. So that's my invitation for us all, is to, with this space that we create, is to imagine and to visualize and to embody how it would feel within us to be with whatever it is it's in our heart's desire for this new year. So with that, let's open up our palms and feel the warmth and the energy of our practice and our little community here. Thank you both so much for showing up. And then let's bring our palms together over our hearts. And breathe and lift our hearts into our hands, feeling that circulation of energy and intention. And may this be an absolutely beautiful new year for both of you in whatever form, in whatever quiet or loud way it is. May it find its way truly into your body and being, your intention for this new chapter. So thank you again. Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, thank you both for showing up. Oh! You want to say hi? Hi. She's been waiting by the door, ready to burst in and say hello. She got a spider bite under her eye, so she's nursing a spider bite as we go into the new year. Can you say Happy New Year to your yoga friends?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
All right, ladies. Well, enjoy the rest of this week, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.